Hello, my friends. Good morning. UFC 290, shining a spotlight on a light heavyweight matchup, which is a rematch, a firecracker of a matchup on a 4th of July weekend, where we have Alonzo Menifield taking on Jimmy Crute, running it back after they initially collided in February. It's been 5 months. We learned a lot from that first fight. Jimmy Crute shocked by the quickness and speed of Alonzo Menifield, who appeared to be shooting fish in a barrel on the feet. Watched back that first fight, and you saw multiple strikes land quickly, leg kicks, punches to the grill of Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute has a solid chin considering the amount of punishment he took. Now, Jamal Hill was able to put him out of there. There have been others who have rocked Jimmy Crute in the past, but let's be honest with ourselves, my brothers. Who has the much better ground game in this matchup? Jimmy Crute. He's proved that. He made a colossal mistake jumping for a guillotine early in the bout. Alonzo Menifield took advantage of Crute beginning to gas out in that first round, and then the fight got extended, and you saw Jimmy Crute in front of a hometown crowd going to the well, remembering what got him to the big dance. And Menifield was landing, I believe, 99 out of 127 strikes thrown. He was landing 67% of his significant strikes. And he was putting it on Jimmy Crute, who you listen to Jimmy Crute's corner in that first fight. They tell him to get his head off of the center line, and he was unable to do it. The Anthony Smith fight, he was getting jabbed seemingly at will by Anthony Smith at range. Jimmy Crute, I know he destroyed Modestas Bukauskas on the feet, but he's got to know what got him to the big dance. Now, he's performed well against quick strikers in the past, namely Lord Michael, who is now back at his legitimate weight class in middleweight. But Jimmy Crute in this matchup, he's taking on a Menifield who is 35 years of age, who is coming in as the plus 100 underdog. Menifield, you've got Jimmy Crute at minus 120. The way I see this fight playing out, Jimmy Crute has got to get his grappling going and get it going early. Alonzo Menifield, he's got Pat Barry in his corner, who was saying, let's put these quick hands on his face, right? And he did that. He did that early and often and ran out of gas. How about that fence grab by Alonzo Menifield? That was a legitimate foul and well-deserved of a point deduction in that matchup. And you got to think Jimmy Crute may have been able to lock up that submission late in the third round. I have played the under 2.5 in this matchup. I see Jimmy Crute, rightfully so, being the ever so slight favorite, but you are playing with fire here back at Jimmy Crute because he could get put out at any second here on the feet. Seemingly no striking defense. I saw there was a YouTube video that was put out recently where he's talking about the crazy monkey defense. I advocate for you to check that out. Look at his recommended style of defense, being unable to recognize specific punches that are heading to his dome. This fight is a close matchup, lined closely for a reason. I'm leaning towards Jimmy Crute, and I'd much rather play Jimmy Crute by submission at plus 350 or so. I see that is out there. I am waiting on these lines to open up at multiple books as well. Give me Jimmy Crute in this matchup, but I think the safer play here is the under 2.5, and also fight doesn't go the distance. I know the last time these two matched up, they did go to the scorecards, but look at you talk about folks being on death's doorstep and running on fumes, and both fighters were at the end of that fight. Fascinating matchup, firecracker of a fight on your July 4th weekend. Remember to go get what's yours. It's an honor and a privilege to do these breakdowns on a weekly basis. I appreciate you. Remember, take your time to do your research into who you're tailing and who you're considering putting out legitimate breakdown footage. So let's do this, my brothers. Come on. Let's go.